I'm not recording. And because I'm going to put the recording into the stream. So welcome people who are not here today. This is your opportunity, okay, to get a little bit of the lesson that the other kids did. Thank you, Aurelio and JJ, for being here. I don't know what happened to Caitlin. I lost her, but she was here for a few minutes. But please, guys, come to class on Monday and Thursday at 8. Those are your times. If you have questions, you can see me at noon. I'll be happy to help you with any of the work we're working on today. And so I wanted to take just a minute to remind people about this week's assignment. And you can see that I don't know why there's an R in there. That's kind of weird. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure that people could see. And I'm going to show you real quickly a student in another class that I did this with. The reason for that is that when I did it with him, I drew the lines and I really showed exactly what you're supposed to do on the assignment. So this is somebody in another class, but he already did it and I did it with him. So I wanted to show you real quick what it looks like. So part of the slides this week is to do this grammar activity. And the grammar activity, you can see it has to do with making sure you can figure out the pronouns and the antecedents. So don't be worried about that word antecedent. It's a little bit of a scary word. It's big, right? But don't worry about it. Okay, I'm going to show you real quickly what it is that you need to do. Oops, too big. If you can see on my screen here that the first thing you're going to do is work on the pronouns and antecedents. If you don't know what that is, click onto these YouTubes and Khan Academies. They will be happy. They will show you exactly what you need to know. Okay. It says to underline the pronouns and circle the antecedents, and then draw a line between them. So I just wanted to show you that, like the ones that only have one antecedent, that is the noun, right? And it says the Triceratops filled his belly with cool water. Obviously, his relates back to Triceratops. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself, Aurelio. Aurelio, you need to mute yourself. I can't hear. Thank you. And so when you're doing this, don't panic, okay? I know that it says that you can draw a line, right? Draw a line connecting the two. Well, you don't necessarily have to do that on number 1. I mean, if you can just circle Triceratops and underline his, you're doing really good. All right. But remember, says the cool water stream ran its course from the top of the mountain. And its relates back to stream. So stream is your antecedent and its is the pronoun. It's usually pretty easy to find the pronouns, but take a look at number 4 for a minute. 4 is tricky because you actually have 2 different antecedents related to the pronouns. And this is one of the things we're learning about is it says the Tyrannosaurus knew that he could beat the Triceratops if he could surprise him. So these are both male dinosaurs, I guess. And so they're using pronouns that can be a little confusing. And in this one, you need to know that the he goes to the Tyrannosaurus and the he here goes to the Tyrannosaurus as well. But the Triceratops is him. So you actually have to circle 2 different antecedents and underline the pronouns. And then it'd be helpful to draw the lines on this one. Like him goes back to Triceratops, he goes back to Tyrannosaur, and he goes back to Tyrannosaur as well. So 4 and 6 are like that, where you have actually 2 antecedents, and you'll need to maybe draw a line or at least underline both antecedents and underline all the pronouns. Another tricky one is number 8. Sorry about that. Number 8 is also tricky because a lot of people are circling dinosaurs. They see that that's the antecedent. That's the noun that this is about, right? But where the heck is the pronoun? So in this case, another is a pronoun that is standing for dinosaurs. We're going to talk some more next week about some of these words like that and this and another that can also be pronouns that stand for something. Okay, they take the place of saying the dinosaur again. So instead of saying the two dinosaurs stared the two dinosaurs in the eye, right? That's kind of hard to say, right? They stared one another in the eyes. So that's the other tricky one. So watch out. You don't necessarily have to draw these lines, but on 4 and 6, you're going to have to tell me which pronoun goes with the antecedent. So even if you just go through and circle and underline, I'll know that you know which is the antecedent and which is the pronoun. Remember that antecedents are always nouns, and they are the nouns that the pronoun is taking the place of. So if you have questions about that, see me at noon. I'll be happy to do that with you. Okay. And so the other thing this week for you guys is, just wanted to show you that one because they were done. But watch the videos if you're not sure. They're right there. They explain it to you as well. This week, though, for your activity online, we're looking at unfamiliar words and using those context clues to figure it out, as I mentioned on my other video earlier this week. And remember that you're supposed to read the paragraph about cats in ancient Egypt and circle any words that you don't know. So maybe you don't know, essential should be one of them. And to circle it, you just have to click on the scribble, and then you can just go around like that. And another word that you might not know might be marshes. Oh, go ahead and click scribble. Maybe you don't know what marshes are, because we live in Arizona. We don't have marshes very much, right? Marshes are places where tall grasses grow around bodies of water, right? It could be a stream, a lake, something like that. Thank you, guys. Please make sure that you're turning off your sound so while I'm doing my lesson, please. Okay, Aurelia, you want to mute yourself for a minute? Thanks. All right, and so you just circle a couple of words you don't know, and over here, they want you to say what context clues are in the sentence that help you to understand the word essential, right? And some of those context clue words are words that are close by. So for example, cats played an essential role in ancient Egypt. They were prized animals, right? And they were useful, right? They caught mice, and they even helped gather food. So some of the words that you could use here to describe essential was that they were useful, right? Another word that you could use that is from the text around there is that they were prized. In other words, it's not just that they were useful, but they were actually prized, right? The people wanted them. They were something that people were really happy to have, right? And so, and another word that you might want to take a look at is where they did things like, they caught and they killed things. They helped, right? They helped gather food. That's really important. So another thing that, they helped gather food is a little phrase that helps you to understand how essential, how important they were. So what does essential mean, right? It means that they were important. It means that they were maybe helpful, right? Essential was something that was needed. They needed these cats, right? Essential. So they had an essential role. I thought it was interesting. You could, help the cat figure out, how to bring food back for you. Don't forget, guys, the terms that we're going to need to know. Context clues are words that help you find and know the meaning of a word. And the topic is the subject of the text you're reading. These are definitions, things you might see on your test. Don't forget to read the little passage about the buzz on sniffer bees. It says, did you know that bees have a great sense of smell? And you've seen the antennae or the feelers on their head. They define the antennae on their head, Oops, I think I cut the head off of that poor bee. Oh, here. There we go. Antennae, right? And these feelers have more than 1,000 tiny smell organs as well. And the organs help the bees identify more than 170 different odors. This is how they find food, water, and pollen. Don't ask me how they know this. Did they ask the bees? Did they follow them around? I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see what they did. Okay, and then don't forget when you get down to this part right here, they're going to ask you some questions. And to mark your answer this time, you have to click and hold and pull it over. Or you can type it in, right? Click, and you can type it in, or you can cover one to cover up the one that's right, either way. All right. And so the thing that they do is says explain the meaning of antennae as used in the passage, right? And they tell you the word that means antennae is feelers, right? How do you know, right? It's used in the passage, right? You didn't make this up. It says antennae or the feelers, right? They told you what they are. So don't be panicky that there's blank places here, guys. They're not hard, okay? The hardest part is number 7, where you have to, it says describe the different ways sniffer bees can help humans. All right, and it says to look in paragraph 4. You have to go back to paragraph 4 and just reread it. Look at all the different things that sniffer bees do. They've been trying to find harmful materials, and they can also sniff out health problems. They can smell a disease in someone's breath. That's crazy, huh? They can uncover some kinds of cancer, and they can spot a lung disease called tuberculosis. And they can also smell dangerous chemicals. And in addition, they can find plant diseases or pests such as bed bugs. Sniffer bees make few mistakes. I don't even know how they know. Like you can't communicate with it. I thought this was kind of weird. But one day these tiny helpers may work at airports, farms, hospital, and war zones, and they will alert people. So see the word alert here? That's the last question over here, right? It says describe the different ways sniffer bees can help humans, and you're going to do that right here. And you just type in a couple of sentences from the text, like how do they help, right? And it'd be nice if you had a topic sentence, right, that said there are different ways that sniffer bees can help. But you just have to look back. I just need a couple of sentences here. And once again, guys, this is not optional, right? I expect you to go ahead and you can even use my video to look back and type in the right answers. I'm going to take it off because I think this was Adrian's. So I'm going to take it off here for a minute. Okay, but listen, everybody can do this. It's not beyond everybody's capability. You just have to try. Please don't turn in blank stuff, all right? I will be calling home if I see blank papers being just turned in as being done, okay? If you have problems and you want some more individual help, come see me at my noon meeting or schedule a time, and I will help you to finish up. This is due tomorrow. It's an assignment for this week. There's Alyssa. Hey, Alyssa. I'm just finishing up my little recording of how to do the online work this week. And so I'm going to turn off my video for a minute. If you need to see me at my new meeting, the link is in the stream. And just come see me. I'm there every day. If you want to do an individual time with me on Friday, I'm also available on Fridays. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can email me. You can do a message. You can ask me to give you feedback, and just I'll look at your work. But please don't turn in blanks. Honestly, it's not that hard, and I just need to see people participating on that for right now. The work that we're doing today, we're going to be going into Clever, and I'm going to show you how to play a game for me, and also how to make a screenshot of something that you did, and you can post for me. We're going to practice how to do that this quarter. Okay, we're also going to be looking a little bit at pre-writing, and pre-writing is when you are planning. So I want to take just a minute to show you a little bit. You can see I put a baby picture here on my screen. He makes me smile when I'm working hard. But a couple of quick things about pre-writing. Later this quarter, I'm going to ask you guys to write some poetry for me. And we're going to be going through the writing process for that. But I just wanted to remind you that sometimes if you're having a hard time coming up with ideas, that you can have sources of inspiration, right? How do you get those ideas? That's what this is about. I'm going to be posting this in the stream next week. And as we get closer to working on our project, which is a book of some poetry that I'm going to have you write for me this quarter. Um, but before we do any of that, I just want to remind you guys that in order to do your writing, you may need to get some inspiration. And people use all kinds of things like magazines, newspapers, the media like TV, radio, things you hear, experiences that you had, right, might influence your ability to write something. And films and movies, music even inspires people. Visual art, seeing something, even your dreams and memories, those things can be the things that inspire you to write, especially when you're writing things that are based on your own experience. Um, and discussing and brainstorming with other people is another way. When we get back into class, and even on Thursdays, we'll do a little of that practice. Responding to something that you read and role playing, you kind of like, gee, I wonder what would happen if I was this chicken in this bowl of soup, what if I were that person? That's role playing. How would I act? What would I say? Even research, if you're interested in something like penguins or, what's the history of popcorn or, research can also be a way to inspire you to write. And even your imagination, you can see down here, personal interest inventory. That's like, what do I know about that I could write about? Let's see, I know about riding bikes. I know how to play baseball. Those kind of things can all inspire you to do a writing task. And of course, sometimes the class, right, can do an inventory and we brainstorm together. So pre-writing is really important. A lot of times when you get an assignment to write something, whether it's something for social studies, science, for this class, and everybody's just like, okay, I'll just start writing. But if you take just a minute to, first of all, think about what it is you want to write about. And then the other thing is get it organized. So the other part of this lesson is about thinking about what ways can you pre-write. One is doing something like free writing. You just sit down and start writing. What's happening? What's in my mind today? I'm really tired. I wish I had gone to bed earlier, blah, blah, blah. And just give yourself some time to free write. Journaling is kind of like that too, where you keep track of what's happening in your life, journaling. You can image stream. In other words, you transplant yourself to another place and time and describe what you see. You can be like, oh, let's see, I'm on a new planet and they just discovered it and it's called planet Carlisle. And what do I see? Oh, there's purple trees. And so like you can do those kinds of image streaming is what they're doing, like really sense something. And we're going to practice that as we go through, especially writing poetry is very important to do image streaming. Lists, visualization is where you see something in your head and then you kind of describe it. And brainstorming, where you just write down what you think and you don't judge it. Is it good or bad? That's brainstorming. And you can do that using webbing, graphic organizers, but even like something that we're doing today on our writing this week, where they had you use charts to kind of put down what you know and how you know it. So this idea of organizing your thoughts, which is what pre-writing is. You don't just jump into writing and go, I don't know, I'll figure it out as I go along. You'll have a much better outcome, a more focused writing if you take just a few minutes. And a lot of these things do not take long to pre-write first. So questions before I go on and release you to do something new?
No.
Okay, thank you, Jeremiah. So today, I need everybody to take a moment and to open up a new tab at the top. And I think Aurelio might already be there. And make sure that you go to Clever. Okay, you're going to log into Clever. Okay, and when you get there, you're going to be in the home room. And there you should have like a little owl with my name next to it. And I want everybody to start getting familiar with logging into Clever and being able to go to something that I put on my page. This is my page, and I'm sorry, mine looks different. Next time I'll log in as a kid so you can see it. But once you get in, you'll see that there's added apps and things like that that are in there. And today, there's 2 apps. One is the Kia Pronouns Antecedents. This is a game that I want you to play until you can get $1 million. $1 million would be nice, huh? When you click on it, it takes you right to the game called Rags and Riches. Rags and Riches is a game where you can read a sentence and they want you to say and to answer the question. Every time you get it right, you head toward $1 million. They even give you hints. So it says sometimes a driver suffers from blurred vision. It can often be the result of too much drinking. What is the antecedent of the pronoun it? Well, what are they saying for it? What can be the result of too much drinking? Oh, yeah, blurred vision, right, is what the it stands for. If you can't figure it out, you can hit the hints. The hints will say, it's not D. And it'll say, okay, I know it's not D, it's not vision. Okay. And blurred, driver or drinking. I still think it's vision. So watch out. Sometimes the hints are not as helpful and they're not correct. So watch out. Okay. But you can do those things. And what your goal is you can see when you get it right, you get 200, 300. But if you miss one, it's like on that game show, right? It goes back to 0. So your goal today or by Sunday, I'm going to give you the rest of the week to do it, is to go in. Let me see if I can find it. Get back into period 2 here. First of all, make sure that you have done your attendance for today if you haven't already done it. Okay, and remember, these are all about being able, in 3, sorry. These are all about pronouns and antecedents. Okay, so make sure you did your attendance for today if you haven't already done it. All right, and then this thing I'm doing today, it's called writing lessons. And when you get your Kia game and you're all done, you can do a screenshot of it and turn it into me. This is a bonus. It counts as points, right? And so what you would do, let's say that I was Jesus for a minute. Oops, I can't get in that way. So go to view assignment, and when you do, you'll see that you'll be able to post in the stream, or you can post it in the stream or in your classwork, the answers, right? And what you do is you're going to take a screenshot of your Kia game when you're done. You'll notice that there's the snipping tool, is what it's called. Snipping tool is the easiest way to do it. If you click new and your screen goes kind of white and you do this little thing right here, right? And you can either save it to the desktop or you can right click and copy it and paste it into something that you send to me. Oops. Minimize it for a minute. So I want you to play around with the snipping tool and with being able to post something in the stream. You can do it in classwork. Everybody has an assignment and you can click it in there. If you're having problems, come and see me tomorrow. Or you can even just type a message to me in your assignment and say, I got to 1 million, or I got to 40,000, or whatever you want to try. So I'm going to turn off my recording. If you aren't in class today, go ahead and try this assignment. You have till Friday or till Sunday to turn it in. It's extra bonus points, all right? But I want you to try playing the games and being clever to do that. So I'm going to turn off the recording now, and I'll see you guys next Monday.